What's going on, Reapers? It's Devontae's Reaper Training, and coming from y'all from drill right now. I wanted to try to get a little video in, man. It's been a real busy week. I'm tired as hell. You know how that go. But I want to talk to you guys today. So in the last podcast I put up, y'all saw I was talking about a lot about energy, right? And basically, what energy is and how you have to conserve it, how you have to be protective of it. Putting too much into the wrong people, things of that nature. And I said I was going to get into, feminine energy and masculine energy. Masculine energy tends to be a more dominant energy, right? It's almost kind of, you trying to take control of the situation. Men have a lot of testosterone, and like the natural instinct of testosterone is to tend to be more aggressive, more assertive, and things like that, just because you have to be able to, as mammals, be able to engage with other mammals trying to take your resources, be able to protect your offspring and your, so to speak, family or tribe, or whatever it is you have to protect. And that's the reason why men are built a bit more stronger. They're to be able to hunt and things like that. We're built in certain ways, and the same goes with animals and things like that. Masculine energy is something that is being almost dismantled in today's current society, right? So when you look at feminine energy is more of a maternal, like almost like a bit more passive or passive aggressive as an energy. And you can look into it a little bit more, but the reason why I want to talk about it is because I want you guys to be aware of it, because you're gonna get into situations, especially as Reapers and being ambitious people, is you're gonna encounter a lot of feminine energy, and feminine energy is coming from a man tends to be a lot more disruptive than it tends to be from women, because you kind of know as a man how to maneuver, if you're a masculine man, how to maneuver around females and things like that. You kind of know not to argue with them and things like that. And in the opposite, you also understand how to conduct yourself to where you're not jumping out of character, you're not getting moved off center, moved off base. And the thing about masculine dealing with feminine energy from men is that they tend to be, these are the dudes that are going to be kind of like the haters and things like that. Now, there's always going to be envy in the world. There's always going to be somebody who wants more, who's jealous of somebody else. You can't affect that. But you gotta watch out for snakes in the grass. And snakes in the grass tend to be feminine men. And as a Reaper, you have to be in your masculine at all times. You need to be able to conduct yourself to where nobody moves you off center. You can't argue with these motherfuckers. You can't fuss. I get into it with feminine men at my job. Since I've been working there in the last year or so, one thing I've managed not to do was lose my temper, though. See, a lot of feminine men, they like to just get a rise out of people or move people off center so they can take advantage of the situation. A lot of times they just get their rocks off on it. They act like girls. You come in a house and your girl just wants to argue with you. She's bored. She just wants to fuck with you. It's kind of funny to her. That's feminine energy, and dudes act like that too, especially in workplaces when they're bored, or they're trying to find entertainment in their job because they're there all the time and their wife's not fucking them and stuff like that. And one thing about feminine energy you need to understand is that don't let it move you off center, because us being more masculine, we tend to be a bit more assertive, a bit more aggressive. Some of you guys, you can't be scared of conflict. As I said before, you have to be able to embrace it. I'm not telling you guys to go out there and punch people in their face and shit like that. You can't be afraid to ruffle some feathers if things aren't right. And the funny thing about dealing with feminine people is that they're going to want you to engage with them, but not on a mentally stable way, not in a masculine way. The masculine way of dealing with a motherfucker who's acting disrespectful, acting out of pocket, or something like that, is to tactfully, like I said, talk to him, be like, listen, I don't appreciate the way you're acting, the way you're talking to me. You be in the position of power, you be in the position that you are, does not give you the right to disrespect me. That's a tactful way of going about it. Looking him in his eye, talking firmly, understanding you're not being passive at all. You being You're being assertive in what you're saying, but you're also not being too aggressive. Because if you start yelling, like, it's going to hold you back, and that's not what you want. You want to be tactful. You want to be calculated. You want to be methodic in the way that you approach people, in the way that you check situations. Because one, it demands respect. It shows that you have self-control. It gets them mad because they wanted to get a rise out of you. They didn't get it. And it also puts you in a position where you can maneuver properly, and you can also analyze the situation, and you can affect a lot of bullshit. A lot of my friends and stuff like that, they'll tell me how to deal with bosses and stuff like that. And as I said, we're trying to be entrepreneurs here on the Reaper side. However, while you're at these jobs and things like that, in order to interact with these bosses, you need to understand that just because they're in a position of power does not give them the right to walk all over you. So within reason, tactfully always check certain situations. If they're talking to you out of pocket, raising their voice, cussing at you, nothing like that, you don't have to accept that. But that does not mean that you engage back by doing the same thing, because you're not going to win that battle. Not like that. You win that battle by, okay, I'm going to pull you aside. We don't have your little people here to flex and jump around in front of. I'm going to speak to you. I'm going to tell you how I feel. If you got a problem with that, all right, no problem. We'll go above your head. We're just going to keep moving up. And I'm going to tactfully do it. And I'm going to let them know that I did my due diligence by talking to you the first and foremost, and now you look stupid. But they don't want that to happen, because no supervisor, nobody in charge wants to be seen as being too overly aggressive. Not in this PC ass world. You don't want them type problems, especially if they got an HR. So this is how you go about these situations. But again, feminine energy, these motherfuckers are going to keep trying to move you off center. They're going to keep trying to push you, keep trying to get you overly engaged. I want to kind of focus on, this channel is about fitness, but I'm trying to teach you guys how to be reapers, how to be ambitious individuals. You know, and this is something that's very important. It's one place I learned this is in the Marine Corps. One thing about the Marine Corps, we're known for fighting and being aggressive. But one thing about the Marine Corps is we don't solve all our problems with fists. You're taught at a very, very early point in your career that you need to be able to speak what you have issues with. You know, kind of right after boot camp. You know, not everything's solved by fucking people up. It has to be solved sometimes by being calculated and being tactful and finding ways, productive ways and respectful ways to affect what you're trying to do. So just want to touch on that a little bit. We're going to come at you guys with some more content. It's going to be another podcast next week dropping on this channel and on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe if you guys haven't. We're going to have some more content coming all throughout the year. I know. This is Devontae. This is Reaper Training. We don't chase dreams. We hunt goals. Let's get it.